What's going on, motorsports fans? This is Jared here with the Bearded Garagistas.
Thanks for the heads up, man.
Never a heads up. Always with me is my brother, Brett.
How you doing?
And today we are very excited to announce that we have Joel with us. Before we get to our awesome guest today, and we'll get into what we're going to talk about with Joel and some of the history and some of the, how long he's been racing and how he's built his monster of a car in his shop, which is not a mechanic shop, which is awesome. Definitely backyard built.
It's a cabinet shop.
Cabinet shop built. But before we get into all that, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, like, subscribe, help us out. It's awesome. Comment. We try to get back to as many commenters as possible. As many comments.
Just
roll with
be
it.
proud of it.
And if you're watching, if you're listening on the podcast, 5 stars, go ahead and subscribe, share it to your friends, everything like that. beardedgaragistas.com is always up and running. We're still waiting on the state of Florida to bring you the merchandise, but it's coming, I promise. And by the time it gets here, it'll just be massive. It'll be a huge announcement. So, without
He'll probably make his own video about it.
I probably will make my own video about it.
We'll watch it.
I have a little vlog. So without further ado, Joel, what's going on, boss?
Everything is good, man. Thank you for having me here. It's my first time doing anything like this, so a little. Can I say something before we start? I have a friend of mine that just had a heart attack.
Oh yeah, that's your camera right there. Go ahead.
Stefan from STP. I love you, brother. I hope you get better soon. And that's it. I mean, I wanted to start with that.
That's fine. That's
Beautiful.
perfect. That's awesome. I mean, that's 100%. Most of what the show is about is connections and people and things like that. So that's why we do what we do. So yeah, I hope your buddy
Thank you, bro.
gets well quick.
Speedy recovery.
Speedy recovery.
Thank you.
So I've known Joel for like 2.5 years now.
About
Almost when I started photography.
Yes.
3 years ago.
I'm your almost number one fan.
I met Joel, and he was one of the first people that jumped on board and was like, "Yo, I want to pay you for that photo. I want to print to this. I want you to come out and shoot my car. I want you to everything." And he was always bringing me to the track, and he really helped me gain a lot of confidence in photography and doing the photography at the track. So
good to know.
I owe him a thank you.
You're
so
very welcome.
thank you.
Thank you for all the awesome pictures.
I try.
Can I say freaking here?
Yeah, you could say whatever you want. You can curse. You can do whatever you want.
Awesome pictures, brother.
So I will have as many photos in the video as I can on YouTube. I will have as many videos that you provide me because I don't have as many videos because I did photography.
Yeah.
But whatever you got, send them on over and we'll get them in there as well. But let's start because I know what you have now, and we'll keep that gem so keep you guys hooked and watching. But what got you started into racing? What was your first taste of racing for you?
The way it really started, I've always been a car guy like everybody else, wheels and radio and the boom boom and whatever. Right. And I had it was a brand new at the time, a little 1998 Tercel.
There's nothing I could...
Vacation time! Road trip! Whose car?
No, not mine.
Oh, you got the four-door.
Four-door Tercel.
There's only 3 of us.
We'll need the room.
Starting at around $8,800, it's Toyota's lowest price four-door sedan.
Okay, my car, my rules.
Okay.
First, no eating in it. Mm-mm. No messing around in the car. And when we get back...
You both help me wash it.
New four-door Tercel, because your values have changed, but your friends haven't.
It was
Hell yeah.
It was a car that I had in college. I worked my butt off for the down payment. My mother, gave me the loan for it. And I was driving my car on the neighborhood, and I see these guys working on the car, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm going closer, I realize that I know this guy, right? I know this guy, and the other one I kind of know. It happened, I got closer, obviously, and I stopped because I realized that the one guy at least I knew, so I stopped by. And the other guy happened to be my girlfriend's best friend's boyfriend. That's kind of a mouthful, but...
Yeah, you got there.
Yeah.
I'm following.
And so, I stopped by. The car was an Acura Integra, the GSR, 1995.
Nice.
I mean, it was a car that I couldn't afford. My age couldn't afford.
Yep.
But this guy was, in his 30s. He's a surveyor. He was making really good money back then. and he could afford the Acura. They're working on the car, and the reason I stopped is because they're working on the actual car, And I'm a car guy, I don't know anything about it, but I stopped by, and they happened to be finishing like touch up to finish the car, and the guy says, "Hey, you want to ride?"
Yep.
Whatever.
Yes.
Let's go. And that is the beginning of my freaking addiction.
Really? So then you put a supercharger on the Tercel.
No, this thing, he took me, the three of us, they were checking the car. The car had already been built. They were fixing something that broke.
Right.
Back then, he had pistons and a block guard and what we could get back there. That's 98, 99, And he had what was called, I don't know if you call it Greddy or G-Ready, whatever. We call it Greddy in Spanish.
Yeah.
It was called a Profik and a Rebic.
Okay.
So there was no hot tech or none of that in the car. It was that, which is like a one is like a boost controller.
Okay.
And the other one just controls fuel. There's no
Okay.
timing or nothing. And the car was making power because I came back. I couldn't take it to smile at my face. And I was hooked from that day on to the point that guy that he happened to know me. I'm like, oh,
Right.
I'm such and such, boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, what? Okay. So I know, but I don't know. Anyways, bro, we connected that he was like my brother, my
Kinda took
friend.
you under his wing.
He was like, we call it in Puerto Rico, uña y carne. It's like the nail and the flesh, like
Yeah.
tight, like really tight.
Okay.
And he was a Honda guy. And that's how I started. right?
Really?
That's how I started. I obviously didn't have the money to buy a Civic or buy an Integra or none of that. All I had was my Tercel, which is how I learned that you cannot raise the car that you drive. You kind of learn the hard way.
Yeah, there's a story there, huh?
Because you know what? I was in college. I wasn't making any money. Then student loans.
Hey.
Student loans happen. So I remember I bought. I'm starting to meet this.
Are we in America at this time?
Puerto
or in
Rico.
Puerto Rico?
We're
All
in
right.
Puerto
We're in
Rico,
Puerto Rico.
1998, in Utuado, which is like the mountains. So obviously, now I'm hanging with this guy, getting to know him better. He's all about racing, and all we have is like I had my Tercel because my mom held me. I was
Right.
like 18 years old, so
Yeah.
it was a kid, and this guy is putting thousands of dollars in these cars. So, I was like going and everybody asked me because now I'm working with this guy that knows Hondas and, he has the car, he had pistons, he had rods, he had, back then they didn't have like drive shaft shop axles, they had better axles.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of parts. None of them were racing. It was just like the 19 whatever transmission from this car and this from that.
Right.
And this guy was spending a whole bunch of money, and his car was going fast. I mean, it was fast in the street. We weren't really a track. We did.
Is there a track down there?
There's a few.
There's a few, right?
Yeah, back then the one we went a lot closed because it technically rained every time there was a freaking race, and at some point they just closed it. But there's still one that's
I know there's one big track because there's a
Salinas.
there's a
that is
big
still
race
there.
down there.
And it's an awesome track, and we really weren't track guys back then. And so it was time for him to upgrade, and he got a Hotech because the car had everything that he could do mechanically that
Right.
was available at the time.
Right.
It just needed some nice computer. So
Right.
guess what? Now I can get what he had.
Oh, so you got the
all right,
hand-me-downs.
there we go.
Perfect.
So I got the hand-me-downs. I paid for them cheap. He
Yeah.
gave me like $100. And so now I had a fuel controller, a boost controller, and a Tercel. So
That's the way to go.
so I went ahead. He actually handed me down a turbo. It was too big, so I swapped it with a friend of mine that he had. I remember it was a little like a 38 or 48
little
back housing, like a 48 back housing, and it was a hybrid T3 T4. It was small in the back for the car to And I remember the car didn't have a tach. I didn't have money to buy the tach. We, slapped everything together. We, the actual manifold. It's not like a header or not. The actual manifold of the car. We made a hole, welded the like the wastegate,
Oh man.
and you know, we raised the car.
Just kind of threw it together.
I was in love with the thing, and everybody, all my friends, I used to smack Corvettes and Mustangs, and you know, we took
Hell
it to
yeah.
the track one time. We did 13.0, which is back then
Back
was
then,
like
that's fast.
Jesus Christ, you know. And the track in the street, if it was long, I would do good. If it was short, the car just had too much power. I didn't have any way to really control it.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I called my mom. I remember I was in Mayagüez, which is to the west side of Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And I worked because now I was working with my friend. With his name is Pedro, doing surveying. You know?
Okay.
I studied in Mayagüez, but I help him, you know, during the weekends, so I get some money to
Might as
work
well
in the car.
build a
Right.
car.
So I remember I called my mom, and she's like, "Oh, you know, because I told her I'm going to the track. The track is on the other side of the island, right?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna race. I promise. Yeah, I'm not gonna race at the track, but I'm gonna race all the way to the track, right?" And it was. I remember like
I didn't
now,
lie. I just didn't tell the whole.
yeah. Well, I
story.
remember like now that I told my mom, you know, I'm not gonna race. You know, I promise, whatever. And she's like, "Listen, it's your birthday tomorrow, and it's Mother's Day next day.
Oh man.
Come, you know, and no, I want to go to the track, whatever." I went to the track. We go to the track. We made it to the track, right? We watched the races. It started raining, so we leave. So as we leave, we're a lot of cars that are badass by, you know, at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
My car had AC, had the whole thing. My alternator, I learned that night that wasn't enough to handle the whole thing with the AC and everything
A lot
on.
of learning the hard way.
So yeah, so you know we're going. Everybody, we were like in stages. You know, like the really nice cars. With my friend was one of them with the Acura Integra. They were in the front, and then the least fast. You know, we were in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, I remember they stepped on it. I stepped on it, and we're going. And all of a sudden, the AC starts. You know, the compressor starts, and the car goes like. What happened? And it starts smoke.
Oh,
Smoke
man.
coming
Oh
out.
no.
So everybody, you know, it's a good thing everybody stopped. You know, we stopped, everybody stopped.
Yeah.
The car was oil everywhere, you know, coming off the stick. And I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? Call mom, right? So here's me at 3 o'clock in the morning, call mom. Mom, I hit, sorry, mom. This is my lie that I've hold until this day.
Oh man.
I told her because the car was low.
Jesus
I told her,
exclusive.
I'm sorry, that I had hit a manhole. A manhole was, you know, when they're fixing the wall, the
Believable.
manhole, you know.
That's a believable
That I
one.
hit the manhole and oil everywhere. And she's like, you know what? Do you have where to stay today? And I'm like, yeah, I can stay at my friend's house. All right, call me tomorrow. Oh, and then she said, I swear to God, she said, if you would have come here, because I told you to
This
come.
wouldn't have happened.
And this happened, I would wake up right now, get ready, and go get you. But because you want to do your own stuff, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Damn. Mom's a savage.
Right? So that's how I learned, because now I don't have a car.
Yeah.
And she said, you're not using my car to go to college, so figure it out.
Oh man.
So
Damn.
That reminds me of a time that I called my brother to come pick me up from the bar
Really?
at like 3, 4 in the morning because
Really?
I was shit faced. So I called my brother.
This is
and I'm
not
like-
how it happened.
I'm like,
by the
bro,
way.
come pick
not
me up,
how
dude.
it happened.
He's like, all right, I'll be there in a little bit. I walk outside and my mother's parked out front. This dude didn't get his ass out of bed.
It's
he
not
called
how
my
it
mom
happened.
and sent
Nope.
my mom to go get
No,
me.
that is not how it happened.
That's how it happened. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I won't
You can-
lie.
No, you're good,
I
you're good.
wasn't there, but
That's exactly
that
how
is
it
not
happened.
what happened.
Shut up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So
How'd you get to college?
Well, my friend Pedro,
Pedro.
we were, like I said, this guy gave me the freaking Honda Acura. I drove the Acura like 2 months on the. I was taking summer classes for
Damn.
2
Let you
months.
drive
I
his-
drove on
What?
that car. With a hot tech and the whole 9 yards. We slapped, wheels on it.
Can you imagine pulling
this
up to
guy was
college and
making
that-
a whole lot of money. He didn't care, And
Damn.
That's funny.
so I worked my butt off all that summer again
Right.
to fix the car, and then I decided I don't want, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
So Student loans. So what happened is, he called me. Pedro called me. He says, "Listen, I have a friend of mine, colleague or whatever. He has this nice 1993 Civic Si from when he was a kid, a young guy like me.
Yeah.
He's selling it for $4,000. Back then, that was like
That's a good deal.
The paint on the top, it was an SI. It had the a D16C, a D16 B Tech, and I didn't know anything about it. All it had was the paint was a little bad, and the axles were shit. So we drive it, change the axles.
Right.
That I didn't know how to do like quick because I've been changing axles for the last 2 years with the Honda because there was no good stuff.
Yeah.
And so now we have a Civic. So that's what started me really in racing. Like racing was my Civic. So I started with a Civic, even though I had the Tercel. It was more like a nice car, a fast freaking car that I raced on my way to wherever.
That's so crazy because I know you so much of an American muscle guy, so I would never see you as
you haven't heard nothing yet. So
oh my god.
So he I forgot my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Oh
so
my god.
You changed it. You got the Civic Si. You changed the axles.
So I got
it
the Civic,
running.
we got it running. And so now what I did is I didn't want to put the turbo. I don't want to put anything from the Tercel. I sold everything. Sold this, sold that. I don't want the Tercel goes back
Get
to
some
stock.
money.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's your everyday.
So with the little money I had I was working, and I was kind of making it so that I don't have to go every day to college, like because you pick your classes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I had a couple more days to go to work to make money. So I put pistons,
go
rods, to go racing, of course. even my girlfriend at the time, she felt like what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. I found something that drives me nuts.
Don't worry, I'm not cheating on you.
No.
It's just
I am,
race
but with a car.
Yeah, exactly.
So all I had money for was pistons. I remember like now I couldn't afford what back then was the shit. I don't know if it's now in the Honda, but JEs, I couldn't afford them. So I bought CPs, right? Back then, I put some Eagle rods and a blood guard and upgrade the fuel system and a 200 shot.
So that 200 shot for last.
Everywhere we went with the Civic, everybody used to go. Well, we started calling it because everybody called it La Tecata, which means like the junkie. Why? Because if it's not on the nitrous, the car it doesn't go
Yeah, it's
anywhere.
not going
Low, low
Yeah.
compression, pistons, rods, and a blood guard doesn't really give you anything. But if you're on nitrous, and I ran it everywhere, and retarded. Not retarded, like it was, you actually had to.
Yeah.
So I'm not changing the settings every time. It's like that, and the bottle is there. If you want to race me, I'm ready, right? So everybody called it La Tecata. And
Did you repaint it, or is it still?
no, it's still the same. You had,
Exactly.
it,
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
it
the way
had,
that
that one had the sunroof.
Hell
It was
yeah.
it was a nice car, but it was a race car. Not
Yeah.
really, but it's a poor guy's race car. That's what I say about my Mustang. It's a poor guy's race car. It's for me it's a race car, but it's whatever. So
I
So
see the
listen.
race. I mean, it's a fucking race car, dude.
yeah. So listen, I'm taking the Civic. We went to races with the Civic. Now I have a couple of stories about the Civic. We had to take the front fenders off because we had to put bigger tires. And, I didn't want to screw it up. I
Right.
wanted my mother, because I was still living with my mom. So we went racing. We took the fenders off, went racing, came back, put them on, and then I go home. I'm not bringing my car with no... So anyways, I mean,
Mom
we're
don't
racing.
play, huh?
We're going to places like one time, for example, with this Civic, we went racing, and everybody knew the truck. We're racing, and we're racing it was a Swift. It was a 3-cylinder Swift with a lot of boost.
Okay.
Right? And the guy was talking shit, and the Civic, the Tecata, whatever, the piece of crap. So I'm like, let's do it. So me being out of the two, Pedro and me, him being like the guy that's always been racing, I told him, deal with it.
Yeah.
So now we go, and I remember we beat the crap out of it. He comes back, says, the driver, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because you're not driving your car, he's driving your car, it has to be drive it. So another guy got in the car, drove the car, even worse, we beat the crap out of this guy. Now he's coming back and he says, you have too much nitrous. Brother,
This is racing. What are you talking
put
about?
more boost on your stuff. You can't talk shit and then come here and says I have too much nitrous. So anyways, so what happened with the Civic, right? Oh, look at this. One day, I'm in college, so for this, I have the Tercel to go to actual college. I wouldn't take the Civic to college.
Right.
I'll leave it in the house.
Yeah.
And I go to college, and my friend calls me one day. We're talking about, I'm in Maya West. I'm in, I don't know, maybe San Lucie from here,
Okay.
Okay.
It's
That's a good
less distance there, but because it's all,
Windy
little
roads,
distance,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's far.
Time-wise.
So he calls me and says, oh, we have a race today. What? I'm like, I don't care. Get your ass here.
Damn.
Okay. So,
Here
I
we
get in
go.
my car, Tercel. We drove to my house. What are you doing here? My mom says, I don't have classes. I want to take a car for a trip. And so anyways, I got on the Civic, we go racing. And I'd have to explain this to you because it's like we have a place there that's called El Desvío. It's like a main road that is going to, it follows like the mountain, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And on one of the hurricanes we've had so many hurricanes. There's like two, it's not a river, it's just water, like a little
Right.
Little stream.
riachuelo,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a stream. But on a hurricane, it becomes like,
Yeah.
right? So that made a big mess on the main road. And then you had some slides and whatever. So what they did is, it was going to take too long to fix the road. And there was already like a little road going this way. So they made that into like a really nice road.
Okay.
Right?
I follow.
But
Yeah.
that road went over with a bridge over the two streams of water. And then it kind of went around and connected you back to the...
I have a feeling that this is going to go in a really bad way.
No. Well, yes and no, but maybe not the way you think. So it connects back to, to the main road.
Right.
So when that just happened, it's nothing good for us, right? But as time went by, they fixed the main because it was so much better just to keep going straight.
Right. For sure.
And then another hurricane happened at some point and broke the furthest bridge.
Oh,
So now we
man.
have this straight, really nice straight to run, to race.
Hell yeah.
Like a nice straight. The only problem is that it's only one way in, one way out. Because now
There's no bridge
the
at the
bridge
end.
is
Right.
gone. So there was another bridge. So we started from the bridge up to almost the other bridge, right?
Bro.
Which you had to stop because if not, you're going
Bro.
to the water.
It's like another meeting of a parachute.
So guess what?
Right.
I have another story before this one, but because we went that route.
Go ahead.
So we're there, right? We're racing. And we were racing the week before, like out of town. And we were talking shit. Now it's our turn to talk shit and whatever. You know that El Desvío shit, we're going to be there next week. And, friendly, but fuck you, whatever, and, we're going to be there. Okay, we're going to be there. So everybody was waiting. So, it's my hometown. So I got there quick, we were like 300-400 people, I swear. Like,
Damn.
Like,
Damn. Holy
full.
crap.
That's a good amount.
Yeah. And not everybody's racing, but so much
Yeah,
of
yeah,
this,
yeah.
Oh,
a
of
lot of
course.
people are
Yeah.
watching. So, we're waiting, we're racing, waiting. And all of a sudden, we start seeing all these lights come. Fuck. They're here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Get
okay.
ready.
All right, I was thinking.
Get ready. Everybody getting ready. My Civic is ready because I had a race. And as they're going into where you start coming into El Desvío,
Mm-hmm.
so where we can't go out anymore, they start turning the blues.
Oh.
See,
It was a whole
so
line of cops.
You said lights, and I went, oh crap, it's cops. And then you kept telling the story. I was like, all right, maybe it was. No, it's cops. Damn.
So listen, and this was the second time. I had been already first time, before there with another car.
Right.
But so this is what happened. I didn't know what to do. There were cops. Luckily, there's so many people that they can't just come to me. They have to do whatever they were doing with the other people.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had a Tacoma, and I had drove the Civic because he called me, and I drove there,
Right.
and he drove there on his Tacoma.
Right.
He said, park it whatever the fuck you want. So I went in, and I parked in a house. Whose house it is, I have no idea. But as I'm coming in, the guy opens the door, and I said, please, the cops are going to take it. He's like, park it right there. You know, Puerto Ricans. So probably they're the ones that called the cops.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know, whatever. He let me park the car in there. I parked the car in there, and I start running towards Pedro.
Yeah.
So we get in the Tacoma. He puts the 4x4 in and goes, this is dirt, you know, to here.
Yeah.
Right? So the problem with the Tacoma is that as soon as you start it, at least the lights turn on. So now we're going, and he's like, shit, they're going to notice that we're in here. So he turns the truck off, and we stop. We were like into dirt, right? We're, you know, there's no cell phones back then. At least I didn't have any.
Like knee deep or a little lower?
Like I was in the truck. But after this happens, I realized they were, you know, like here. In the dirt.
Yeah, mid-chin.
Oh,
And
my
we're in
God.
there, and we stopped only because the lights were on. So 20 minutes pass. This is dark, like you can't see nothing. And all of a sudden, I feel something here. Like, I'm not here, like this. I said, get out of the car. I'm like, what?
What?
So when I look, it's a cop, and I said, bro, we're just here watching races. You know, I was racing, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
would you have, you know?
Yeah.
He's
Drew a
like,
gun on
my
you?
life is before yours. Something like that, you know, little kind of, you know.
Yeah.
That's what he meant.
Yeah.
It works in Spanish.
I'm like, listen, we're just students.
Works in
We're
Spanish.
just students, and we're here watching races. I don't give a shit. What happened? You got stuck? So I'm like, you know, being a smart ass, I said, no, the lights, you know, were telling, you know, you where we were. So anyway, she's like, oh, you're going to need a truck to pull the whatever. So he had us go in the back of the truck. Now, you know, he puts his gun.
Yeah.
They're calling us literally stupid morons, dickheads, faces, you know, whatever,
Really?
just because they want us to, you know, say something.
Right.
And, you know, they take us out. Oh, hey, come here, stupid ass motherfucker. Come here, right? Whatever. They saw the car. And one of the cops went in there and touched the hood. I don't know
To
how
see if
that,
it's hot.
Yeah. Touched the hood. And he said, this car was back there. And I'm not saying anything, you know, to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
But at the end of the day, it was fine. You know, he left it. Nobody talked. You know, he can't do anything because the car's there.
Yeah.
The car
I
can't speak.
almost said, no, I'm not racing, you know? So whatever, he didn't go inside. There were so many people. This guy's broke rear windows,
Yeah.
Yeah.
rear glass, the brake lights with the, you know,
They smash
damn.
it?
smashed the lights. I remember a friend of mine that had an RX-7, and we had to take him home because the RX-7, or at least his, had the fuse box where it was visible, and this you know, pulled it and broke it.
Oh,
I don't know if
crap.
they got to pull the whole thing, but the car.
That's what they do?
And then they said, go to the judge and tell him where you were and see what's up. There's no cameras back then. Who they're gonna believe? And what were you doing? Oh, street racing.
Oh,
So whatever.
Shit.
So that day,
Wow.
you know, I was good. They didn't give us. I think they gave him Pedro a couple tickets for whatever. And it happened to me before because we raced every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, whatever. The days in between, we raced every day, everywhere, every town. So a couple.
That's crazy how they treat it
a couple
like
weeks.
that.
A couple weeks before I had gone, and they gave me a ticket for seatbelts and another ticket for parking in a place without lights. And I asked my father, because my father was a cop, and I
Wow.
told him,
He honestly left that out until
Yeah,
we're
I
like
was
yeah,
just
my
thinking the
father
same
was a
thing.
cop for 30 years. Rest in peace. Love you,
man.
father. And
we're like 30 minutes in or something like that. He's like, yeah, my dad was
my
a
dad
cop.
was a cop for 30 years, 33 actually.
Damn.
So I asked him, you know, this is crap. You know, I'm being like, this is bullshit. Why would you give me a ticket for parking whatever and then one for seatbelts? I was obviously not in the car. He's like, well, go talk to the judge and see what he says. Tell him you were racing. My dad wasn't, you know. He's like, you weren't doing, you know, so whatever.
Jeez.
Anyways, that's with the Civic, right? The funniest thing is not funny, but it's like, this is how into racing we were.
Yeah.
One day, so to get there, you know, my motor eventually, you know, started having some issues.
You beat on it
Yeah.
enough.
So Pedro said, you know what?
Racing every day
you
that
know
ends
what?
in Y can do that.
There's this copper juntas, copper gaskets now, and it was a shit back then. I didn't have any O-rings or nothing.
Right.
So we're putting something that is really not going to work. But what we're doing, what did we know? We put it in the car. We spent all day putting everything on the car because we're racing this motherfucker today. And we go to run. I literally grab the old, throw it like that in the back of the house. Now it's going to be like that. So we get in the car. We go racing. The thing spit the freaking thing. And I think we were doing burnout. And it spit the freaking gasket.
Really?
Holy crap.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, in the freaking boondocks, in a straight somewhere in Arecibo, which is not where I live. It's another town further. Yeah. And guess what? We were three. We were Pedro, because he was with me all the time. I was with him. Me, Pedro, Django, which I don't even remember his name. I think it was Jose. We were race buddies. And me. This guy's told me, go get that gasket, and we're going to take this shit out right here. And when you come back, it's going to be ready. I swear to God, I went back. I'm looking for the freaking gasket in the grass. Turn on the car, bring it over the light. I found it, cleaned it like this. Water, bring it back. We put it back in the car, and we went racing. And we smacked a couple of freaking,
Holy crap,
Passion,
man.
bro.
I mean,
passion right there.
But what
Damn.
happened is, so now Pedro, as I'm going up, because, from the Tercel to the Civic,
Yeah.
now it wasn't 200. When that happened, it wasn't nitrous anymore. I had gone turbo.
Okay.
I had gone turbo. The car, it was good.
Moving up in the world.
Yeah. But what I had for fuel back then, because I had sold the fuel controller that I had for the Tercel, so now all I could afford was pressure. I don't know if you heard this, but pressure switches.
Okay.
So you put pressure switches, and as the boost goes up, the pressure switch starts, and you get some fuel.
Okay.
It was a pain in the butt to tune, and the car was never like now where you can fine tune it.
Right.
But it went.
Yeah.
So as I'm going up, Pedro's going up. Now he's talking to a guy that I believe moved to here to Florida. He's called the French or somebody. He
Okay.
was really good in cars. And now we're making 580 horsepower with the Acura, which back then was unheard
That's a
of.
lot.
He's putting tons of money in the car. But now the car needs other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has a car that's all the power in the world back then, but the car was stock,
Yeah.
So what happened is, as all that went, he
Right.
got a CRX,
Okay.
right? So now we have the Civic Turbo, the CRX,
You guys building your own
yellow,
race team, bro.
yellow CRX with a 200 shot because we were hitting the other one with a 200. So this
Right.
one, we can't.
Right.
And the Intragram. So to all this, according to everybody, we're brothers. Like they literally thought
Right.
we're brothers. And I took the yellow car to the yellow CRX to school. He took my Tercel. We switched wheels.
You're like driving cars
We're,
all-
we're
yeah.
like literally brothers. And so we're at the track one time. The Civic was already starting to, so we kind of deviated the attention on the Civic because I just didn't have the money
Yeah.
to keep putting on the car. I was in college, whatever.
Right.
So I think he bought that CRX because it was cheap, and at the same time, he could have me go in the other car and race, or if he wanted to race, he had two cars, and
Right. That makes
we were
sense.
still a team.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So we were at the track, Desvío, on that
Yeah.
at
the
Desvío
track.
thing, and so guess what? Cops come again, same thing.
Oh my goodness.
So now what we did with the CRX though, it was we took everything out. We just let the seat. Everything else was out. Everything. I mean, the dash was in there, but no seats, no carpets, no
Right.
nothing.
Got
Right.
it.
And we put some slicks on it, small slicks, but they're still slicks. So we trailered it. So we trailer the car. The cops come in. We're blocked again, but this time they're not hitting or it's. This was the first time because the Civic was the second time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I said I have another story.
You're good.
So the thing is, we always had walkie-talkies, always.
Right.
Because if something happens, it's in the car. Hey, I crashed, whatever. So My phone's going crazy.
Yeah,
Shut up.
you're a popular dude.
So anyway, oh no, in case somebody else called. Like, and so the cops come. We have no time to put the trailer, the car, whatever.
Right.
He says, take the trailer, you know, and I'll go ahead. I'll let you know what's up. So I'm like 3 cars behind him. You know, what they did is they blocked. So everybody that has cars
You have nowhere to go.
have to go that way.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of smart, but the only way they had to clear the place was give me your license and go get it at the station.
Right.
That way, you know, I can give me the license, go.
Damn.
Instead
Deal
of
with it
being there
later.
for, because there were
Exactly.
200-300 people, easy. And they're giving tickets, you know, to anybody that doesn't have a license. I learned that later. But if you don't have your license, if you know the number, you give them the number, they give you a ticket, and then, you know. So he calls me on the thing. He goes. We're talking about the CRX had nothing, just to see the nitrous bottle that you can see it from 3 miles away because there was nothing else in the car. So you see the bottle like right there, slicks on the car, and he said he didn't have a license. So they gave him a ticket for seatbelts and this and that, a couple nice tickets, you know, speeding and this, whatever. So in case you don't show up, you're gonna have to pay a lot in tickets.
Right.
Back then, they even had to call it in. There's no computer, none of that. I don't know if they have it
Yeah.
now, but back then, you could, 34, whatever, right? So he says, hide your license. You do not have a license. I'm like, yeah, but I have one. I'm just kidding. So he said, just say you don't have a license, and they'll give you a ticket. Okay, so I'm behind it in a Tacoma with the trailer. I'm not racing. Why you have a trailer? Anyways, I get there. And I'm like, hey, you know, I don't have a license. He's like, really? You don't have a license, huh? I was like, no. What's your name? Angel Viruet. And he looks at me. He looks at me like, yeah. He says, Viruet from where? I'm like, Viruet from Caunillas. Actually, back then, I was from Don Alonso. He's like, do you happen to know Olga Iris Viruet? I'm like, yeah, she's my cousin, my first cousin. Yeah, she's my wife, he said. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to have to give you a ticket. Because my lieutenant is right next to me, but you need to get the out of here like yesterday.
What? No way.
He gave me a ticket for, I don't know, I don't even remember. It was like a bullshit $15 ticket.
Oh, my goodness.
And he said, get the out of here like now. He kind of wasted a little time. He wanted
Make it look like he was doing
you know,
more than
Yeah.
he was.
He's like, oh, you know, tell your cousin, whatever.
Talk about luck, dude.
Right. So, but that was the meeting. That was the spot where we raced. So, to kind of wrap up this whole situation, the Civic was now hurt. It wasn't hurt. It was smoking. You know, you don't want to go racing with smoke. So now we had the yellow and the Integra, the Acura. So we go racing again to the same place. We had a
Guys,
big
just
race.
don't learn your lesson.
No. And we did it for years. And we had because we raced Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. They just called, we're going to be here, let's go. And we're going to be wherever. But that was like the spot, you know, like back before me, there was another that they call Paneles. I never went there. I was too young. But we were there. And we brought only the Integra because we had a race with an Oldsmobile.
Right.
The guy had, you know, a nice Oldsmobile on nitrous. Thing was fast. But we said we were faster, you know, because
Why not?
Honda guys, you know. And so we're there. The whole crew's there. You know, we have the walkie-talkies and the thing. But again, that thing was a beast, the motor. And the tranny was Type R, I don't remember anymore. But it was a nice setup, like a nice setup on a stock car.
Right.
No suspension, no nothing.
Right.
He had like a Lawrence Springs and a little better. Back then, you didn't have the
cars weren't the
suspension
same
according
there, no.
to you know. Now like for my car now, I could buy anything.
Yeah.
From bumper to adjust to what I have. Back then you can make 5,000 horsepower for what? So that day we flipped the car. Like we flipped the car. The car was junk. He fixed it afterwards, but you know he flipped the car. The car was because the problem with the Integra was everybody left ahead. You know, everybody.
Right, yeah.
And then he just
Chase
him down and flip him over. But in this case, I guess he was so fast that he flipped himself over.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
damn.
So, we had the thing, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, dude, whatever. Just come get me the fuck out of here. So we go, whatever. So now we're thinking what's going to happen. Well, guess what? He's like, well, we can put the motor on the Civic. Why not?
Jesus.
Okay.
Why not? So now we put the GSR motor on the Civic. And now, because there was so much money on that motor, that I used the yellow car for race.
Yeah.
And he would use my car.
The Civic. Yeah.
So when that happened, and I wish I could, we can talk for 5 hours on my Puerto Rico stuff.
I see that.
But
I want to get to the Mustang eventually.
Yeah. Sorry. So anyways, after that, we had a personal issue, and I came here for vacation. I'm cutting a lot, so you're happy. And,
This is just for you, man.
The
No,
Civic
it's just-
became,
I'm-
the Civic became a monster. Everybody knew the freaking Civic.
Right.
And it wasn't called the Tecata anymore. Now it was a real
Oh
car.
man, I wish it would have kept this name.
Yeah, right? So anyways, I come here, and now I have here, I came here for 2-week vacation, and I stayed.
Oh, that
That's
was it, huh?
That's it. I stayed here.
Why?
Because I was making, now to that point, I was making $250 in Puerto Rico because I was working now full-time as a surveyor.
Right.
And I wasn't a surveyor, but I learned so much that he let me work under him.
Right.
But I was only making $250, and I came here on vacation, and they gave me just work for the 2 weeks, make some money, whatever. And he was giving me like $400 a week, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense.
The hell,
I'm
Puerto Rico.
in Puerto Rico for 8 hours every day under the sun,
Yep.
listening to these guys call me because the loader, whatever, somebody kicked the freaking mark that I did, and they're blaming me and whatever under the sun. And this guy's giving $400 to clean cabinets? Shit, I'm going to stay here.
Makes sense.
So I stayed. And from
Good
there,
reasoning.
I, started my own business, and that's where I got where I am, which I own my own business since 2005.
Okay.
I've owned my own business. Obviously, at the beginning, I struggled like everybody else, and
Right.
I did struggle a lot when the housing market went down, and then
Yeah.
from there it kept going up, and I'm doing
Hey, you made
pretty
it.
good.
You
back.
made it through that.
Yeah, I
so
made it through,
damn.
and I'm doing fine. And
Paused
I
racing during that time?
Never.
No.
Never.
Well, I was single. Look, so when I came, I had a protege, but the wagon. We call it in Puerto Rico the PR5, but here is a MP5, and here is the PR5.
Okay.
Anyways, it's a little wagon.
Yeah.
The protege. It's whatever.
Yeah.
And I went back to putting wheels.
I always
and-
called it the Protege, but yeah,
yeah,
go.
protege. So I put
I dated a girl with a
I put
protege.
wheels in it and some leather seats and whatnot, and I'm trying my best to stay away
Okay.
from racing. But I got to make at some point I was making like $1,200 a week, single, living with my sister,
Let's go racing.
paying only for FPL,
Oh, let's go racing.
right?
Oh, we're going racing.
So I'm putting all this money in the protege, but I'm like, I can't do anything else. So I go one day. My brother always have always loved rotaries. My brother-in-law.
Okay.
My sister's
Yeah,
husband,
yeah.
always loved rotaries. So I'm getting this idea that, because when I had the Civic, Jesus Christ, rotaries are crap.
yeah.
It's like
Oh,
a ball.
yeah.
Yeah.
You turn it on, and then tomorrow you turn it up. When you turn it back on, it doesn't work. So I have that idea in my head. But he had this little RX-7, a GSRS, whatever, and I know how to say it, but it's a GSLSE. Just being a dick. And he abused the shit out of it. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense again.
Changing your
Yeah.
whole perception.
Yeah. And I'm getting in the car, and he's doing twisties and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I love this. It's not, I was now in a Protege, and the Civic and everything is. I keep hitting the microphone. It's all front wheel drive.
Right.
Now I'm in a rear wheel
Rear-wheel
drive,
drive.
where you dump the clutch, and it's doing things that I never did in a car. I'm
Yeah.
like, I love this.
Having
And
fun.
And so one day, see, I've always, when my brother, I love my brother-in-law like another brother, and he loves me, and I've always listened to him.
Right.
And he kept me, don't spend so much money on cars, whatever. But one day I went to a Mazda to do something on the Protege, and I saw the brand new RX-8, bro. It was October 2003. It was the first batch that came.
That's so crazy. They always remember the
October-
exact time, you know?
October 2003. And I saw that thing, and it was the same blue as his RX-8,
Yeah.
RX-7. And I'm like, dude, I like this car. So can I take it for a spin? We went to a spin, and that's it. I'm taking this shit today. So they took the Protege. I kept the RX-8,
Right.
and I promised myself. And now that is the time, because my brother is really into Mazdas and Toyotas.
Right.
Which is weird because they're always, but
Yeah.
my brother, since he's really not a race car, he just loves cars, and he likes both. And now he's talking about Chino. Oh, Chino this, Chino that, Chino the Toyota, the Star, everything that Chino touches f***ing flies. Chino,
Oh,
freaking
this is
Chino.
where
Who the
Chino
f-
comes
is
in.
Chino? And Chino's like my big brother. He's out of all the ones that are like my brothers, this is the one, bro.
Well, that dude wasn't
he's-
lying because
he's-
Chino's car is fast as shit. Like,
Chino, bro.
That
I
thing
heard-
hauls
I
ass.
heard so much Chino that I wanted.
Who is
Chino?
this guy?
So, anyways, I promised myself I was gonna go 50,000 miles in the car without doing anything to it because I didn't know rotaries, and I didn't want to put anything on the car. But there was a little addendum to that. I didn't know that changing the motor didn't count as not touching the motor for 50,000 miles, right? So I'm on the computer now. I'm really into RX-7s, RX-8s, and I see this guy in Puerto Rico. His name is. I'm trying to talk faster. Anyways, the guy's talking about 3-rotor RX-8, and he's doing 3-rotor, and I'm making a lot of money by myself. I got this money in the bank.
Yeah.
I can do a 3-rotor.
Why
So I
not?
go to Puerto Rico. I fly to Puerto Rico. I talk to
Damn,
the
man.
guy. First we meet online, whatever. Hey, I want to do what you have.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, come over. Okay. So I went over. After that, we became friends. He's like, I didn't realize you were really going to go to Puerto Rico. Because everybody says they're coming and they never come. I'm like, F that. So that's me building. I built a 3-rotor RX-8, which
Yeah.
ran for years
really?
on the street.
That's so crazy
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
you're rotaries
With
and they
it was a
don't work.
3-rotor, just to give you a little on the car, and that's it. We're
Yeah,
moving on.
gimme.
It was a 3-rotor. It had a nice, fuel system, dual A1000s.
Right.
It had a T56, nothing crazy, but it was a nice T56. Obviously, it was a 20B, which is a nice,
Mm-hmm.
setup. And it had a GT4788, which is an 88 millimeter turbo.
Jesus.
Damn.
And
man.
that thing made a whole lot of power. And having that car is which by the way, that's my first car that I built at the cabinet shop. Because nobody really worked on 3 rotors.
That's crazy.
So I brought the motor
Actival said
built.
the same thing. He's like, nobody ever
So I
worked on rotary.
I brought the motor built from Puerto Rico. I brought it over there, brought it to the guy that had his RX-8. He built the motor. He had somebody.
Bro, you went there with the damn motor?
No. I
No,
bought the
he bought
motor
it
in Puerto Rico.
Rico.
I got it. I
Yeah,
follow.
the guy built it in
I
Puerto
went
Rico
there.
and then he shipped it here.
I went there. I did my
That still
preparations.
ain't
It wasn't.
cheap,
It wasn't
man.
from today to tomorrow.
I thought okay, I went there, I learned how to do it, came back.
No.
Wow.
The motor back then only cost me $3,500. Now they're like 10 grand.
Damn.
Holy
Right? So I
shit.
paid $3,500, which I actually put on a cart. I probably still paying for it. No. So I paid for the motor because I had to pay the other guy cash. Or I
Yeah.
bought the motor. We planned it. The guy was gonna open on a Saturday. I went and get the motor, paid the motor. I went back, brought it to the guy, and he had the motor taken to somebody.
Right.
I took the motor apart to the little ball. Took all the crap that he doesn't need, put it in a box, threw it away. I don't remember. And they built the motor, called me, and I went to Puerto Rico just to send it here.
Jesus.
We put it on the car, and the guy came from Puerto Rico and started the car and did everything on the car. And
Damn,
the car ran
Wow.
And we started with a 76, and then we moved on to the 88. And I had a lot of fun with this car. Everybody knows my car. That knows me, everybody knows my car. Everybody loved my car. At the end, I just got greedy and started, abusing the shit out of the car. And it is a rotary at the end of the day. Everybody says, oh, who built it? I built it. Oh, because at some point, now I'm building my own motors. I can't
Yeah, but-
afford to bring this guy.
They're gonna fail eventually. Rotaries don't last forever; they wear out.
No, and the truth is that I had somebody that a friend of mine told me. He is like, if the car starts and runs, even for 10, 15 minutes, the motor's good. You know, if everything is good. I mean, that's not really it's kind of a perception, but so anyways,
Hey, it starts perfect. Let's go.
So anyways, here is I'm gonna jump the whole RX-8 because it was a nice car. I used the shit out of it.
Yeah,
it was really nice.
I remember when they came out; they were huge. You remember, like we had a next door neighbor buy an RX-8. He put new exhaust on it and everything like that. It was everybody ranks on the RX-8, but when it came out, like when it first came out, I remember like I was just getting into college at that time, and it was an impressive
I think
car
it was
when
just
it first
too
came
heavy.
around.
Well, now we'll
I think if they
figure
made
that.
it lighter.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the RX-7.
What everybody
That's-
said about the RX-8 that didn't like was the motor, but I don't have that problem now. I have a 3-rotor
Yeah.
with a T56.
Right.
So because I started with the RX-8 motor with the RX-8 tranny, but I broke 6 in a matter of months.
Holy
6.
shit.
One day I called the guy, and I said, dude, I keep breaking this tranny. He's like, oh my God, I remember I have a friend of mine that just crashed his car. It has like 900 miles. I bet you he still used the tranny. So I talked to the guy. He sold me the tranny for like $600. Brand new tranny, 900 miles. So guess what? I got the tranny. I got a brand new twin disc clutch and brand new Toyo R888s. And I put everything at once, right? So I took the car off the lift. I had a friend of mine from Puerto Rico that was here. We did it in the shop. I had a lift in my shop. We put the transmission.
He does.
It's the strangest
Yeah.
He's got
cabinet
a lift in a
shop you've
cabinet
ever
shop.
seen.
We
It's-
put the
it's awesome.
tranny in the car. We put the wheels. We put everything. Dumbass Puerto Ricans. I'm sorry. That's me though. I'm sorry. Dumbass Puerto Rican me. And we get on the car. 4 guys in the car because we're all excited.
Why not?
We want to see what's up. I put first. The thing goes crazy. Holy shit! Let's do this. I go back. Now the tires are a little hot. Heated. So they're sticky. And I go at it again first. When I put second, bam! Broke. It lasts me less than the freaking. I mean. So. I mean, yes, it broke like 15 minutes. 15 minutes, bro.
All
it
that
lasts
work.
me. And
Right there. I'm selling the
and
car.
then I always remember I have a friend of mine that always told me, dude, you need to get a Mustang. When I moved to this spot now, the shop, and
Yeah.
he's seeing me. I like doing 360s, burnouts. I just love the smoke, and with the RX-8, I wasn't a track guy. I was more of a burnouts and race with whoever races at the, if
Right.
the cop stopped, I want to race the cop. You know what I mean? I was more like, I thought I was back in Puerto Rico racing everybody at the street and doing some crazy shit. So I took the car to the dyno a couple times, and between fixing it and finding people, I kind of met Chino. I knew Chino now from a little back, but now we're kind of
Start talking to build a relationship.
and, whatever, and
Right.
now I know his builds, and now we're more friends, and that's why I meet Stefan, the guy that had the heart attack. This is way back, and we hit it super quick. They're great people. I think I'm half a decent guy.
I don't know.
So-
Every time I'm at the track with you guys invite me like family, and 90% of the time I have no idea what you're talking about because you're talking Spanish.
So we're
They're like, hey, come on over. You want a beer?
So I remember this guy. His name is Dale, and he's like, "Oh, you're always racing that rotary," and he said, "I love it, but why are you trying to make a slow car fast?" And he's like, "You need to get a fast car and make it faster." I'm like, "What the hell is a fast car to make it faster?" He's like, "Buy a Mustang." In my head, Mustangs are half cars because
Why?
when you have Hondas, you think rotaries suck. When you have rotaries, you think this one sucks. And in between, at some point, the Mustang sucks for everything because it's a domestic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have Hondas, like Mazda suck, but not as much as a Mustang.
Yeah. It's like when you're in the military, right? So Army will talk shit about Marines.
And
all right?
Navy.
That's kind of like if that's kind of like if you had Honda and Mazda, right? So they'll talk shit about each other.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the military at all and you're a civilian and you talk shit about the military, they'll both gang up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, so it's like you too. You probably fought like freaking crazy.
Yeah.
But then if I came and said something to him, you would be like, yeah, I don't think so. But it's the same, like Hondas hate rotaries, but the Mustang is just something different.
Yeah.
It's like, no, thank you. It's like a piece of crap. So in my head, domestics in a whole suck. Pieces of shit. 8 cylinders, and you can even raise my little Civic. Well, I kind of went up and up and up and
Right,
up,
right,
and
right.
where I think now I never did with what I've done with my Mustang in a lot shorter time.
I don't know, bro. You did a lot to that Mustang.
Yeah, but it took me like 4 years to get it where it is. But the RX-8 I had like 7-8 years. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And we never really raced.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So now, one day this dude comes to me and tells me, now we're talking about the Mustang. He's like, oh, I got a friend of mine that has a Mustang for sale. I'm like, well, all right. You got a picture? He sends me a picture. I'm like, fuck, this doesn't look that bad, So I showed my brother, which is a Mazda guy that likes Toyotas, but he's a car guy, so he likes Mustangs too.
Yeah.
The difference,
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, it looks nice. How much he wants for it? He says he wants $10,000. It's a Cobra, but it's a 99. So it's not the supercharger Mustang. It is the one that has the same motor, but it's not supercharger because it's the first one that came,
Right.
and then the Cobra. And the guy wanted 10 grand, and I had 6 grand at the moment, right? Cash, and then I had credit cards and whatever. But to spend, I had 6 grand. So, now I had a business, and I have to pay guys, and I can't. I have
Yeah.
6 grand.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I have.
Yeah.
So I called the guy and my friend, and I said, "You think he'll take 6 grand?" And he talked to the guy. He says, "I can't take 6, but I'll take 6. Give you the car. I'll keep the title, and you pay me the other 4. I'll give you the title."
That's risky.
But we were all, he knew me, I knew him.
Yeah,
whatever.
but it's kind of like
I hear, but
So, and that
I
ended
hear
up
it.
being good because, like, he sold me the car. We did a paper. He had somebody punch it,
notary.
Yeah.
notary,
Yeah,
notarize.
yeah.
I'm gonna pay you whatever. And he gave me some time. I said, perfect. I just don't have it right now, but I'll make it and give it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, I got the car, and the car was ticking. It ended up being a timing chain.
okay.
But I called him, and I told him, dude, you sold me a car that's ticking. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I took the car to his mechanic, and he paid for it.
Oh, shit.
Out of the 6 grand that I already gave him.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I finished paying for the car. I bought the car as a daily driver because I wanted a daily driver, I guess. So, anyways, the car sounded really nice. It's shit. This is not a Mazda.
That's not a daily driver.
So, anyways, I'm really into the car now. I love the car, and my friends now, they all have Mustangs, and oh my god, now you have a car, right? So, I'm like, what can I do to it? The car had almost 200,000 miles.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, when I bought it, almost like
Man, he drove
189.
the shit out of that thing.
189. So he bought it in Puerto Rico, used it in Puerto Rico, and he moved here and brought it with him. So my car is originally
Wow,
from
you
Puerto
guys
Rico.
shipping stuff from Puerto Rico, man.
Yeah, and I
Can't
ship
be cheap.
myself. And so this is how the Mustang started, right? I got the Mustang. I had the RX-8.
Yeah.
The RX-8 was running at the time.
Yeah.
So I used the RX-8 to whatever, burnouts, and I had 300,000 views on YouTube on the RX-8 because the RX-8 is a 3-road RX-8. No, not everybody
Nobody
has
has
it.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, 8 years after, now it's a little more, I'm not saying now. I said
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
had
at
it for
the
8
time.
years. But in the beginning, it was like the shit. Everybody, I have friends now from RX-8s that from everywhere, and they know me because of the car.
Right.
So now I have the Mustang, and my friend keeps telling me, oh, put a shot of nitrous, put a shot of nitrous.
Hell yeah.
So I bought, the first thing that I bought, I think it's called a Wolf, or I don't even know what it is. It's something that you can program, but you can program the chip on the computer, but it's like kind of pre-programmed. Like you tell
like
the
a
computer,
template.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
put a 100 shot, and this and this and that, and it has that template, and it puts that in there, and
Right.
you go to the track. So I put a 75 shot in the car. So I go to the track. I remember the first time I ran 13.8. Shit, you know.
Cool.
Not bad. Things borderline stock. You know?
13.8. I only had, the guy did had a nice intake on it, which everybody talks shit about it because it doesn't work. It doesn't give you anything. Well, it was working. And the fact that it's a Sullivan. So the Mustang intake has some weird curves, the original.
Yeah.
So when you hit it with a nitrous, it kind of puddles, and then it goes in all, like in puddles, and not in puddles, but in bunches, like of nitrous, I guess. And they blow up. My car didn't blow up. And I put it where I put the two-step on. This is all in my cabinet shop. I'm not paying for anybody to work in my car. That was me. I tuned it, with the little thing that you really don't need to tune. But I'm changing the setup on the computer.
Right.
I put nice. I just bought a rear set of wheels, and put some slicks on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go out 13.8, and it was like 13.8, 13.8, 13.8, 13.8. 13.8, 13.8. I'm like, shit, 13.8. And I started going, and the more I went, the better I got at driving the car.
Yeah.
And now I'm running 13.7s, 13.8, 13.6. And when it stopped going faster, I put another 25.
Right.
Like 100, and then I went 125, and then I went 150, and then I went 175,
Jeez.
and then I went to 200. The car was now in the low 11s.
Damn.
Running 11s with the same motor that never broke.
Just more.
200,000 mile motor.
Just more
Never
nitrous.
broke. One time, there's a
Damn.
Mustang.
Wow.
There's now we go back to the same. Mustang guys don't really like Chevy guys.
Yeah.
like Camaro guys. And they both don't like not Hellcat, but
Dodge.
whatever. So there's a Mustang versus Camaro day. I'm in there.
there.
I'm running 11.2s by the time. I had 175 shot. That's what I had at the time. And I had it to where I put on a two-step, right? And as soon as I let the clutch out, the thing is 200 shot. There's no staging, none of that.
Damn.
175, sorry, at that time. 175.
He's not fucking around. He's just
and it's out.
Send it.
So I mean, the car was just performing, and the car was like better than ever. Now my Blue Mustang, my RX-8 was still like my main. I loved my car.
Right.
Yeah.
So now my car like broke again, and now it's sitting there. So it sat there, and now I'm using the Mustang, and now I'm running at the track because I never really went with the other cars to the track, but now I'm seeing numbers.
Yeah.
Like shit, I went from 13.8 all the way down to 11.2.
Yeah, it drives you to keep going and get faster.
And now I'm hanging out more with Chino, and he's more in my life, and now we're really good friends, and I'm 11.2, he's 9.2, 9.0, 8.9.
So it's all
8.8.
Chino's
I'm
fault.
telling
On
you,
the little
Chino's
Corolla.
fast as shit.
And I kind of want to skip the part where I had a really good friend that was screwing me with the car, and he's the reason. And I even said thank you to him when my car started, because he did some good work. He just f***ed me in another lot of other work in the car.
Yeah.
And he charged me a whole lot of money. And he's the reason I talked to Chino, and Chino and I said, that's it. We're
gonna do it ourselves.
and that's it. So the Mustang is our problem now.
What's Chino's Corolla doing now?
Chino's Corolla? He took it apart, and he's redoing the whole thing. Like the whole thing. He changed.
What was the
from,
fastest it ran?
He ran 8.8.
What was the
Damn.
engine that he had in it?
He has a 3. Oh my God, a MR2 motor.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
I lost the numbers. It's
Brain
an
fart.
MR2
It's
motor.
all right.
He switched from EMS that he was running forever. Now he's going to go fuel tech,
Right.
and he's putting a cage in the car, and it's.
I mean, he's running
totally,
8.8 with no cage in the car.
Yeah.
Damn,
And if
man.
you ever seen it, it dances when it goes down the track.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
He
light.
has to drive it. My Mustang. He drove my Mustang, and he ran a 9.0 on my car, and he said, "This is like a Cadillac." Like this is a
I'm
Cadillac.
telling you, I watched that Corolla from behind, and it's like,
Yeah, he's driving the car. Like in my Mustang, you go, that's it. And you have to switch. The problem with the Mustang, not the problem, but the fun part of the Mustang is like every shift is like when you, like if you were back at the line, like it's really aggressive when you shift, and then it kind of levels out, and then when you shift again, it just
sticks you in the seat again.
Because I keep saying the problem always, is what people don't know about my Mustang is that I always had a 3650 transmission, not a T56 like everybody else. So I literally had to let off to be able to shift. There is no flat foot shifting with a 3650. It doesn't matter what you do with a 1300 horsepower car, it's not gonna happen. So
I remember you telling me that you had to let off and let it drop to a certain RPM.
So what we did is, I have an AMS 1000 on the car. It's the boost controller, and we literally went, shift boost by shift, from almost no boost to 30 pounds of boost at the end. So the car,
Holy crap.
yeah. So I'm shifting. The car is, is coming down, and as it comes up, it's coming with a lot more power than I let off on the gear before.
Jeez.
So it was like and then so it's like you're at the line first, second, third, and fourth. And so it was a lot of fun, and everybody says, "Oh, with 1200 horsepower, your car should go 8s." Not with a 3650, not with power steering, not with a radio, not with AC. Not my car is a car, full interior. It's not well, now it is, but back then.
That's so crazy.
So I told Chino, you know what? I'm going to build the motor. We're going to build the motor. So I went to this place that's called in Davie, Pro Power. The guy says, what do you want to make? I want to make like 800. It's like, okay, so I'm going to give you something to make up to 1200 because you want to be a little, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing about Mustangs, just so you guys know, in case you're, not you just tell the guy what you want, and it's there. What you want? You want 2,000 horsepower? Okay, you need this pistons, this rods, this. There is no.
It's all figured out.
There's no
by
Honda
now.
Civic back in '98s. What you want to make? 250? I don't know. Just because back then we didn't have.
Right now everybody
yes.
knows.
Now yes. Now there's probably
That's
the same
so
as
funny.
domestic. But when I started, it was so new to me that you can get whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So the guy says, what you want? I said, 800. So he sells me some, CP pistons. He sells me some Mutt Max rods, which is, it's like a cheaper version of one of a better, like a knockoff.
Right.
But he said it's ready for the 800. He says, you can make 1,200 and it'll last. Ferrea valves, but stock, stock
That's a pretty
size.
good buffer, bro.
Yeah. And so we built the motor. And the funny thing is, as we're taking the motor apart that had 200,000 miles with a whole lot of, 75,
I was about to ask,
100,
when did you
125,
guys work on that
we
thing?
took the motor apart, and the thing was like new. Not new, but,
Not 200,000 miles. That's crazy.
and the we call it the casquillos, the bearings. Chino was like, bro, this is like brand new. I mean, for 200,000 miles.
Yeah, they looked fine.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, whatever. We took pictures and everything.
That's crazy.
So we built the
We're
motor.
so excited. We had to take
Yeah,
a
that's
picture.
crazy.
So we built the motor. We had the 3650. It was a built 3650, but they sell a kit that you put on your 3650, right? So we bought it. First time on the dyno. 1,077. And I'm like, holy shit.
800
Damn,
went
man.
real quick.
Holy shit. And the car had everything on it, power steering, it had everything on it.
Holy crap.
So we go to the track, and my tuner, he's really conservative. He says, you made 1077, but I'm not going to let you get there on the track. We're going to lower that.
Yeah, we'll start you out somewhere and then we'll
And
work
no,
our way up.
he tells me you cannot pass it here, and he puts a boost, a boost cot, whatever. I don't want to deal with the computer. I let him do that. I do everything else with
Okay.
Chino, and then he does the computer. I don't deal with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? That was the plan all along, and that's what Chino told me, and that's what we're doing. Because you know what? We're building the motor, and even though it's us, it's the first motor that I built that it's domestic. And Chino is a motor guy, but he's more of a Toyota, and but
Yeah.
he says, I got it. Don't worry about it. So we did it at the cabinet shop, the whole thing.
So nuts, dude.
The whole thing. And everybody, all my friends, because they want to see, I have everything on Instagram. All the pictures are there. Chino's there.
I don't know how you all fit. Because
Chino's
I've been
there
in that
working.
shop, and it's like,
Chino's there working on the motor, and there's sawdust everywhere. But we are in the office where they see, but outside there's dust. You open the door, there's sawdust coming in.
Yeah.
But we're in the office with the AC,
Yeah.
and so we went to the dyno at 1077 with like 850 foot-pounds torque. Went to the track, and it ran. So he says, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. Let me give you a little rundown of the setup at that moment.
Hit
It
me.
was a 3650 with the build insides. It had an S480. It's a Borg Warner. It had the CP pistons, the Max rods, the stock crank, because the Cobra crank it's a really good crank.
yeah.
Fuel system was a behind bar race cars. It comes with everything, like the tank with the fuels, inside. Everything comes, fuel rails, everything.
Nice.
And I left my Sullivan intake that supposedly doesn't work. Anyways, I go, and this is the plan. He says, okay, so we're going to hit the car without a CO2 bottle. No CO2 bottle. We're just going to hit the car with spring, wastegate spring. So we hit the car's like 10.8, 10.7, right? It's like, I don't know, the boost was really low because it was a
Damn.
big turbo. So we need that CO2 too, the spring was.
Yeah.
So I told him, it felt all right.
Should be
it's
faster.
Okay, right? So he's like, okay. I mean, I guess we just wanted to see how it go.
Yeah.
I did like 2 passes, 10.8, 10.7. Okay. I
Just turn
opened
it
that
up.
thing. What? 9.4. Whoa. What the? What? I'm like, no, wait, what? So now we're, 9.6, 9.5, 9.6, 9.4, 9.2. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it's
And,
fast.
it's going. One day, I'm coming out of a pass, and I hear, tss, 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 tss. I'm like, shit, what's that? You're not expecting that you hit a freaking a nail at the track.
Yeah.
So guess what? There's a hole in the front tire.
Damn.
And we put an injection, brother. I don't know how you call it, an injection. To
Plug.
me, we put a plug at the track. The car was going 150 miles an hour with a plug
Whoa.
in the front tire. And we're going, now the car's
How'd
just
you fit in
floating.
the driver's seat with your balls that big, bro?
Everybody is loving
Oh
the
my
car.
goodness.
So whatever. We did some adjustments. We want to run 8s. It's always been
A goal.
the goal to run 8s, right? The car's still full weight, full everything inside, power steering. So now we're gonna put a bigger turbo because we just need more power. It has a nice suspension,
Go for
a
it.
nice adjustable suspension.
At this
But-
point, you left the transmission, though?
No, we're running with the transmission. We actually got that transmission to 9.0 with the 3650. So, or 9.1, something like that. Anyways, we're running, and we're going 9.4, 9.5, 9.6, 9.4, 9.5. I'm like, okay, so let's build it up. Chino says, well, let's put a bigger turbo because I don't want to rip the car apart.
Yeah.
Right? So we put more power, and we put more power down because the car feels good. We just kind of leave the setup in the first,
Right.
third,
Yeah.
the short time or whatever,
Mhm.
and then just hit it. So the car was doing 114, which is not really fast in
No.
the 8th, and 160 in the quarter.
Oh.
I mean, because
Damn,
of the
man.
tranny,
Yeah.
and then you gotta.
Huh.
But when you put third and the whole boost came up, that shit was flying.
Selling
Wow.
like crazy in the
So-
high gears.
Wow.
Like it feels like a front wheel drive car. So we go back and we put an S488. Take it to the dyno.
Yeah, that's got to be so depressing for like a Honda guy comes out there and goes, "Oh, I'll catch him on the back end," and he just keeps
Yeah,
going.
I don't think so. Well, we used to say in Puerto Rico, back in Puerto Rico, sorry, we're back in Puerto Rico, but we used to say that if when you're about to put third, the Honda's still next to you, you're done.
You're done. Yeah.
If the Honda is next to, unless you have another Honda,
Yeah.
but if the Honda's there when you put third, when he puts third, you're done.
Right.
He's gonna,
He's going to take off.
Yeah.
because that's where they,
Yeah.
But not on the Mustang. The Mustang's
the
hitting
Mustang
30.
is way faster in
The
the
back
in the
end.
top end, back end.
Yeah.
So So now we made 1247 with an S488
Wow.
billet wheel. You know, it had some adjustments. Now I'm getting involved with the stick shift racing, the stick shift mafia, a bunch of nice guys, and we go racing to South Carolina and North Carolina.
Hell yeah.
So we go to North Carolina. The car was freaking feeling really good, and I won the first day. I won the event on North Carolina.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So the funny part of this little racing is that we got there. There's like 7 or 8 people from South Florida. Well, actually, there's a couple from like Orlando area. But
Yeah.
we went together up there. So we draw the way they do it. I don't know if they do it the same here. They give you 2 cards. They give you a card.
Yeah.
And whoever's the 4 and the 4, you know, the
They
matching
do that here.
numbers.
They do that here
And then they'll
sometimes.
tell you, you know, the red is right or inside or outside, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went from Florida to North Carolina to race, and the first race was against Chino.
Ah.
Get out of here.
So now I'm like,
He's just
the
done.
and I'm like, I'm done, because my car's fast, but he just has all this experience that he knows my, you know,
He knows everything
Yeah.
about
and he
you.
knew he was gonna screw me at the light. So what he did, and I'm gonna tell you what he did, is, you know, we get on the pre-stage.
This is 100% like your best friends.
Yes,
But
yes.
when it becomes to racing,
So
I'm winning.
Yeah. So he tells me, you know, pendiente, because I'm gonna you up. So anyways, but you know, we're cool. We're so what we did is we start fighting because over there everybody was in the track.
Yeah.
You know, all these dudes, like all together, like black dudes, you know, Latin dudes, everybody together. Oh, wah, wah. You know, it's cool. So we start fighting and hunking. Oh, whatever. Ah. And then, you know, oh, what happened? Oh no, we just, you know, we're just making fun. And they were having us do like a dry, you know,
Yeah.
the horn, get the out of here, whatever. So, you know, building up the.
Yeah.
So we get to the line, and pre-stage comes on. You know, stage comes on, and I get on the 2-step, and he knows that if that thing stays for a little more than what I think, I'm gonna let off, and then get back on it. And he waited. As soon as I let off, he let go, and he me at the light. But his car was having some suspension problems back then. He's off, like off,
Yeah.
you know, and he put second. I mean, he shifted to second, and he crosses the line.
Oh.
And almost hits me. But I was so behind that I saw him.
Yeah.
Like
Can't
he's
really
like a full
adjust.
car ahead of me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the whole thing, and I saw it. Like I actually saw it. So I put
Let
the brakes.
off, yeah.
That's the only reason I won. If not, he would have whooped my ass from the get go.
And that's the one you ended up winning?
I went
Yeah, he won.
all the
Well,
way
you
to
crossed
win.
the center line. You're
Yeah.
done.
No.
Yeah,
I won
that's
the
the
whole
one he
thing.
won.
I won the whole
yeah.
thing, and then we went down to South
Thank you,
Carolina,
Chino.
and the car also ran there. Like back then, it was the best eighth of a mile, because they run eighth of a mile.
Right.
I was always running 6.0, 6.1, 6.0, 6.1 because my car really had the power at the end.
Right.
But now we're trying to up, you know,
the
Yeah,
line,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And before we went there, I put the T56 in.
Nice.
I switched the T56, the 3650 to a T56, a G-Force T56, you know, face plated, the whole 9 yards. So I went fresh from getting a brand new clutch. Yes, I got a clutch too, but the whole thing up there, learning how to drive. But the car is an animal. The first track, they're not giving us time or nothing. Like, you just race,
Really?
whoever gets there wins, and that's it.
Get out.
So I don't know what the
warm-up,
car's running.
nothing?
I don't know what the car's running. So
That
we go to
sucks.
South Carolina, and I did my first mid-5 pass was in South Carolina, and it was the first pass. It was like 128 miles an hour, and I'm like, fuck,
That's quick.
that's fast, because I never been
Yeah.
faster than, you know. And I'm like, you know, whatever. So at all this, to all this, we're tired. We drove from here
Right.
to North Carolina,
That's far.
and then we went to my sister's house in South Carolina, and then we went back to race the other day, and then we, you know, I was beat.
Yeah, man.
So the second pass, I went all the way from mid-5s to like 6.1. and then the other pass 5.7, 5.8. So I really thought I was just tired. I told Chino, I'm really tired. I don't know if I'm not shifting right, whatever it is. So we said, I got eliminated I didn't make it to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Right? Chino didn't bring his car because his car was, every time he puts, he shifted, the car just went that way.
Yeah.
That's
So
the problem.
I got my ass beat by everybody and anybody. And I was talking shit about a guy, like a lot of shit, and he whooped my ass twice. Twice, not once, twice.
You can't know what happened.
But anyways, and that is, I brought my car down, right? And we went straight to the track, and that's when I saw you at the track, right? So at all this time, for the last 6 months before that, basically the plan was as soon as I put that tranny in there, I was going to race the 8th so I can get used to the tranny. And then the quarter is a
Cake.
good 8th, and then just
Yeah.
go. So now we're at the quarter, but the car's only going
I think you
145
got
miles
it
an
too.
hour.
I think you got it. That was impressive.
The car's going 145 miles,
Yeah.
where my car was going 168, 169,
Yeah.
170,
Yeah, it was slow that day.
and it's going 145 miles an hour. So we said, let's just put it in the trailer. We figured it was the fuel because that was the problem too. Probably that is what caused the problem. But that happened up there. I just didn't realize. That's why it went from mid fives to sixes and high
Yeah,
fives.
the problem just carried over.
So, I came, took the car, put it on the trailer, went back, and let me see what happened then. Because
I know you changed the. You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
you
yeah.
changed the fuel system
yeah.
and stuff.
exactly, yeah, that's what happened right after. Right after, I just upgraded the fuel because
Right.
in my head,
That's what the problem was.
that
I
was the
remember you
problem.
sending me pictures of when you were changing.
and
the
I just
fuel.
I didn't check anything. I mean, it's a cabinet shop, and it's not a diagnostics shop. So, and the truth is, the car felt badass in the first, it just didn't have that oomph at the top end. It just
Right.
didn't have it. So we're thinking, obviously, if it's low in fuel, the pressure's low, whatever. I even changed the pressure gauge, everything. I wanted to make sure everything was fine.
Right.
So we put the car in the dyno because now we upgraded the whole fuel system. Because, you're thinking, oh, the car's been running for 4 years. We have upgraded a lot of stuff.
Right.
But the fuel system is the same. It's normal.
We're here,
So
let's
we
do it.
changed the whole thing. Put it on the dyno. And like I was talking to you, I put it on the dyno. The car makes 500. Because my tuner, like I said, he's really conservative. He starts from zero again. 500, 600, 700. For me now, 600 is like, whatever. We had already made 1250, 1247, and like 900 foot-pounds of torque. When it gets close to 800,
Yeah.
he's putting a lot of boost in it. So he starts scratching his face, and when he does that, usually when he does that, you're like,
Ah, crap.
and Chino looks at me, he's like, I don't know.
no, that's not good.
So, and he tells me, bro, I went over everything, and it's not me.
There's something wrong.
There's something mechanically wrong with the car.
Ah, shit.
So I did what I should have done when I came from up there. I checked compression. Sure enough, two of the pistons. Two of the combustion chambers were like really low.
Right.
One was almost
Dead.
non-existing. There was
Damn,
something in
man.
there, and then all of the other ones were just weird. Like one had 140, 120, one
Like all over the
really
place.
off, right? So I called Chino. He's my go-to guy. And he's like, dude, you're going to have to take that head off.
Yep.
So sure enough, because all the ones that were really bad were on the passenger side. Sure enough, I took it off. Bulbs were bent,
Damn.
rockers were off. Like there's rockers literally out of place.
Whoa.
So I called Chino. He's like, oh, dude, how's the pistons look? Everything looks fine down. So let's take the heads off.
Holy shit.
Rebuild the heads. Make sure everything was good. We stayed with stock size, but we went with brand new Inconel, Ferreira valves, and we tried to put the best we could in the heads without
Right.
going too crazy. So now is when the real monster came out. So we put it back together, took it to dyno, and the thing made like
Back to the
1,300
dyno.
horse. Yeah, if if
As soon as you open
I
the motor.
change
For sure,
something,
no.
I'm going back
Find
to
out.
dyno.
Yeah.
Now the car makes 1,300 horsepower, almost,
Oh.
and 1,005 foot-pounds of torque.
Holy shit.
Holy.
The thing was
What?
a freaking beast.
Were you expecting that?
No.
Damn,
We just
man.
wanted the same power, but obviously, if you get more, I'm not complaining.
More is always better.
So now,
Were your cheeks hurting
when
from
I did
smiling, man?
when I did the heads, now we put like like better cams.
Yeah.
Before it was just GT cams.
Right.
Now it's like custom cams and. I
Once you
guess-
start getting up into that power range,
Yeah.
you got to start really changing
yeah.
some stuff.
So, we took the car to a race in Tampa with the guys in Stick Shift Mafia.
Right.
Right.
Real good guys. Yeah, I said it again.
worth
So the
it.
car, we gave it a couple of test pads, and Chino said we're gonna have to lower the boost in the lower gears because the car just doesn't want to, we need to drop that torque.
Right.
So the problem we were having is the car was, because we had to lower the boost so much in first gear mostly, the car was just how you say that, it was just falling on its face.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like bog off the
Yeah,
line.
it bogged off the line. So I was on the two-step, on the anti-lag. It built a little turbo, a little boost, but then it just needed the power. The turbo is really big, and that's when the Honda really, I guess because I was a Honda guy, and we were chasing everybody down the track so fast, going by them so fast that I almost flipped. I mean, the car was just a beast. It bugged out the line, and then right after that, I
Just take off.
passed him like a freaking. And now we put it's not a. It's kind of something we had to improvise because the computer doesn't have that. But now when I shift, it's kind of retarding so that we have a little, help
Like
with
a
the turbo
delay.
because it's big.
Yeah.
And all you hear when you shift, blah, going past everybody. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody.
That's awesome.
So I get to the semifinals, and I remember talking about the semifinals. We were 4, and 3 out of those 4 were in South Carolina with me. Like we were
Oh,
3.
wow.
So it was only one, and the guy that ended up winning or second place told me, "You got this. Today's your day." Like,
Yeah.
there's nobody. gonna
Sometimes
beat
it just happens.
yeah. So I raced against this guy. His name is David. He's a really, really nice guy. And he lived the wheels out to the point where his bumper is almost hitting. I mean, and my car is technically bugging while he's, going.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I went, and the car wakes up, as soon as it wakes up, he crosses the line.
Oh shit.
When he crosses the line, we always said there was oil in the track because the car behaved like there was something in the track, but
Yeah.
then they look and there was nothing.
Right.
The car just went sideways, and right before we hit the wall, it turned to, it straightened it out, so we just scraped the wall.
Oh,
Ooh.
But when we
damn.
scraped the wall, we messed up, the 2 wheels,
Right.
the door, the fender, the bumper,
Shit.
and with it, because of the shape of the walls, it messed up my
We sat here
My
all this
strut-
time, and I had so much fun, and I smiled so much, and now you hit me with this bad story. at
It's
the
all right.
end.
It's all right. Because now we're coming.
Okay.
So
I
listen.
was going to say, I hope we're
So
getting
listen to this. And this is it has to be a lot of it. You got to smile, and now it's sad, and then you want to kill somebody because that day, right? So we crashed the car. So because the strut tower broke, now the car's on the floor on that side.
Oh, damn.
Right? So the guy comes with the flatbed.
Right.
Oh, 3 hours after. Sorry, I speak mainly Spanish, so my English gets stuck a little.
You're fine.
But, so the guy is not really caring about the car. He's just pulling it,
Yeah, they just drag it
And
up
Chino
there.
is like a little, because Chino has built this car from zero. It's
Yeah.
like his car.
Yeah.
He's like, the fuck's wrong with this dude, bro?
Mike, Mike said the same thing. They
So-
just drag it up onto the
So
flatbed.
he puts it on the flatbed. I am just lucky. To me, I'm like, thank God,
I'm alive.
nothing
Yeah.
happened. I mean,
Could have
I
been
have
worse.
the
Car's
the car
not too
has
bad.
Everything safety wise that I can put for the time that it runs. So I literally just whatever. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
My head kind of. So, you know what the guy does? The guy takes the car, and puts it outside of the track, not in the track, not where there's light. He goes outside of the track,
What?
like outside of the track where there's no light, and he dropped my car there. And Chino is like, why are you putting the car here? So they get at it. Like, Chino wanted to fucking kill this guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
why
start
do
getting
do
at
that?
it. They're like, here, what the fuck? You know, there's light there. There's whatever.
Yeah.
He throws the car there and left us.
Holy
now-
shit.
We had to figure out, and we had a couple friends of ours from that, they left what they were doing to come help.
Right.
Some guy went, he had some wheels, because my wheels are destroyed.
Yeah.
Right.
We lift the car, put a 2x4 in between the strut so that the car at least moves, but we can't turn it. So I had to literally move the trailer to put it.
Holy shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so
And then-
stupid, bro. Like, why would you
We're all
fucking
pushing
do
the
that?
car.
That doesn't make any sense. Why
That's
would
a
you
pain
ever
in
do
the
that?
Bro,
Yes.
Chino, he was pissed. He literally wanted to kill the guy. Like, literally. And then he was pissed with all of them. Because we went to up there to be with a group of guys.
Yeah.
And most of them stayed racing. Some of
Right.
them helped. Jandro with the yellow Mustang.
Yeah.
I mean, I told him, whatever you need, brother. I don't care what it is. If you need me and I can come, I'm coming.
Yeah.
He left the car. He was there testing the car. He left the car there to help me.
Holy shit.
And
That's good people.
yeah, Michael and Chino, obviously, so there's a couple of guys that, there's a guy with an orange Mustang.
Yeah.
He left his car over there. He took shit out of his car to try to help me. So now we're in Tampa,
That's awesome.
and we have to drive all this
Back to here.
back here
Oh,
with the car
damn.
screwed up. And now we're home. My wife, what's she gonna do? Then my house is a little higher than it's like so there's a slope.
Yeah.
So the only way, because usually I just drive the trailer and pull the car over there and bring it in.
Yeah.
Now we have to put the trailer where,
Exactly
where it's
right.
gonna.
Yeah.
Right.
So guess what? We can't because of the slant.
Oh.
And we kind of did it, but then it's slammed on the, which I remember I have to fix. How your garage has a little lip
Yeah.
for the
Cement.
water.
Yeah.
So that took part of my tank out.
Oh,
There's fuel
damn.
everywhere. I was pissed now because I had already passed that stage.
Right.
Chino was freaking,
Dying.
he wanted to freaking shoot somebody. And we put the car, I said, you know what? Just leave it there. I don't want to deal with it. And it's been a year. It's been a year.
I'm gonna say because it's been a while
Yeah,
since
it's
I've
been a
seen you.
year. And the reason I haven't started the car is because it has a strut problem, and that is something that we don't do ourselves. And I've been screwed so many times that I
Yeah.
just don't know who to use. But while it has been sitting, I have been buying parts for upgrades. Because we decided...
Why not?
Because we decided, and this is to wrap up, we decided that the car's been running for four years. We needed to build the motor accordingly because we built the motor for 800 horsepower, not for 1,300
Right.
horsepower with 1,000 foot-pounds
Right.
of torque. And we had Max rods that
Right,
we
right.
don't even know where they from. So, sure enough, Chino says, all right, so we're going to get this and this and that. I ordered the rods. We're going to with aluminum rods now. And he's like, take the motor out. I took the he came, helped me take the motor out. And as we're taking apart, all 8 of the rods were bent.
Every one of them.
Every single one.
Holy
Holy
shit.
shit.
Every single one of the rods were bent.
Oh man.
So I'm sure it was because of the 1,000, they were rated for 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
And we went
13s.
13s and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. On a full-weight car, we're leaving the line,
Holy
So-
shit.
Jesus.
So now we're going
That's
with
unreal.
Now we're going with nice rods. We're gonna put a new nice set of pistons, recheck the heads, which they're brand new.
Right.
And the main change that we're doing is I went from the original turbo was an S480, which is like an 800 turbo. Then we went with an S488 with a billet wheel, which is like a $1,200 turbo. And now we went with we're going to a precision 94 mil, a pro. Was that a
But what are you
pro
looking
stock?
for? 1,500 horsepower?
About 14, 1500.
Damn, man.
Bro!
And we're spending a little more money, and that's part of why it's taking so long too, because we want to do it right.
Take as long as you want,
Yeah.
bro. I can't wait to see
But
this
I'm
thing.
coming. We want at least 1500.
When you get back to the track, please give us a call.
At least right now, you're not
I'm gonna have
missing
this.
much
You're
racing.
gonna see the bearded garagistas in the car for sure.
Hell yeah.
And now, even though we want to still just run 8s, but before it was 899, I was fine. Now it's 8s, deep in the 8s.
Oh, yeah, you're deep in
Hell
the
yeah.
air.
Yeah, because technically I have power for more, but I don't want to take the car apart because that's what people love. They usually they see the car fly down the track 170 miles an hour. They come back and they look at the car inside. Dude, what the f?
You're like listening to
I'm
stereo.
like, the radio on. Oh, look, it has power steering. Power steering, hydro boost. I mean, it has everything.
That's legit, dude.
I had to take the AC off when I put the 88 because it just didn't fit.
Yeah.
We just couldn't fit it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
come on now.
So fuck it. I don't need. I don't
That's a
need-
street car.
Yeah.
It's 100% a street car.
Yeah.
So we've heard a lot from you, and it's great. I absolutely love the story. You've got an amazing racing, love of car, life story. It's amazing. But it makes me think that you got some crazy damn stories in there.
Yeah.
So we've been talking over an hour and a half now. Don't feel like it, but it's been that long. What's the crazy, looking back on your life, what do you think's the dumbest thing you did?
I mean, after I started with the Tercel, you know, I always used to race my cousin specifically. I love you, cousin. And we do like in the movies. You know,
Yeah.
I lived in Puerto Rico in Utuado, which is all mountains. You know,
Yeah.
so you're going around them, literally around the mountains, and you know, so if it's a mountain, you're kind of in the middle, height wise. So there's
Drop
a,
off.
Big
there's
drop.
a lake down there or a big drop or whatever, you know, and there's a lot of curves.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of curves that you're going around the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we used to race to the point that if I was ahead enough or he was ahead enough, he will park somewhere and wait until I pass, like the movies. Like we were crazy.
Damn, man.
And I would step on the car
No.
to whatever the Tercel had. It wasn't turbo back then, thank God. But I would go, like one time, before I tell you that, one time, this is the craziest one. See, I got it.
Yeah, there we go.
So we were 5 in the car, in the Tercel, 3 in the back.
How did you fit 5 people?
3 in the back. Oh man, now they're coming. Oh my God. You. Anyways,
I
so
opened the door.
we're going down. How you said it? Steep down is like down the mountain.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We're going around the mountain and down the mountain, and I step on the car. So now the car is going down the mountain
At full speed.
fast as it can go, and then comes a curve. And I didn't think of the curve. And I remember
Oh, Jesus.
I'm here driving. I have a friend, and this guy is, you know how you get in between the two seats?
Yeah.
Looking, you know, like this. And when I turned, the car just, you know, went sideways, and it stayed sideways for most drifting, but without wanting to drift, and I didn't know how to drift. And we're going 80, 90 miles an hour. I don't know how we didn't flip. The car went sideways
Oh, my
to the
goodness.
point that it started going, and it just turned, and we kept going.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy shit! The guy was a darker guy,
Yeah.
and he was this guy for a second. He was like, holy shit! And then for whatever reason, we all started, yeah! Oh shit! And the last one, we were going in the Tercel again. I was going with the guy that lived with me, my roommate,
Yeah.
from going back home, and we were racing this other car in the highway, and the highways in Puerto Rico also have, you know, but they usually a lot down and then a lot
Yeah.
up. So we're going down, and we're both 2 stock little cars, but we're going like 105 because that's as much as we can get. And then there comes a curve, and the car it was a soft curve, so we're going, but when you kind of see what's coming, there's 2 cars, and we're 2 cars. You
Oh,
know?
shit.
Oh, damn.
He hits on the brakes, and I went between the 2 guys.
Oh,
So my
shit.
friend is holding his hand like this, closing his eyes. When we pass, it was crazy. And I have a couple of those, but
Man, so, like, have you gone back since?
so I go back to Puerto Rico. I
Oh my
went, I was
God.
6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
As an older guy.
Yeah.
and you need to see me driving. And when I look at where I used to go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, where that shit happened to me,
Yeah.
I'm like, how in the world did that when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go faster than 10 miles an hour. Like, I swear. I'm like, how? Because now you start thinking, what if the brakes?
Yeah.
What if the brakes
Yeah.
go bad? What if a tire blows?
Yeah.
What if, you know what I mean? What if somebody's
crazy.
coming? Because you don't know what's coming when you're doing this. And before, and second gear was the gear. Because third is too heavy, you're in second all this, and now it's like, if I could put in seventh, I will, or in first,
Just
in
one
first,
one big toe on the
in
gas.
first. No, I'm telling you, and I live in the mountain,
Yeah.
so now it's like when you look down, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Well, the first time that I went back, my friend told me, "Did you forget how to drive?" Because I was taking the curves all the way, and he would pull my, the wheel, and I said, no, I guess I got used to straight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
like a while.
That's crazy, dude.
And now I go, you get used to it, but the first time you get the wheel, they laugh at you. They're like, dude, you forget to drive? I'm like, no, it's just that it's all straight. Now
Flawless.
here's like,
Yeah.
I love it though.
You got some
I love
crazy stories, man.
I have a lot.
We're gonna listen. Write them down, bring them with you on the next time, because when the car gets going again and we get back out to the track, Bearded Garagistas is definitely going to be there. I'll come out, take some photos. Maybe we'll do like a vlog action of it.
I actually love the idea about bringing the car here.
Yeah.
So when it's done, if you're still here or wherever you are, I'll bring the car to wherever you are.
Hell
So
yeah.
that you can see it and you can show it if
Yeah,
you want.
usually
or at
what we
least
do
it's
is
there.
we put it in the background when we're talking.
Or in
Hell
the
yeah.
background so you can see it and you can see. I was gonna bring because I have them and I love them and I look at them and the rods. Oh my god, they're so beautiful. And I was gonna bring them just to show you the baby. But then I'm like, oh, it's the first time. I don't want to.
No, it's all
get
right.
them.
That's
I have
so
a lot of
funny.
shit to talk about.
We'll get it. We'll
And
get
I
it
have
on
a lot
next time.
more, but next time,
Next time,
we'll leave a little to the next
We're
time.
not going
Hell
anywhere.
yeah.
The show's just going to get bigger and better. So
yeah.
we'll get you on there. So we know this was actually a long one.
It was a great
This
one.
is a good one
I
though.
like
A
it.
lot of funny stories.
I didn't think it was this.
It goes by faster than you
amazing.
think.
Yeah.
I told you we're gonna have fun. So we appreciate everybody for joining us. If you're on YouTube, again, like and subscribe, comment, share. Same thing with the podcast. beardedgaragistas.com is definitely up and running. Shop is coming, I promise. Check out the Patreon and everything on there. If you want to chat with us, send us an email, anything like that, feel free to do so. And we love every one of your guys' support, girls too. We've actually been seeing a lot more girls come
Yeah,
on the show,
man.
so that's
It's
awesome.
nice.
And we are actually hoping, and we're not hoping, we are going to have another female guest come on soon. So that's really exciting as well. So
Yep.
really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
later. Peace.
Peace.